Welcome to Crack-A-Pack. My name's Andrew. Today we're cracking open Zendikar Rising. Let's get cracking. Our first card today is a Goblin Construct token, followed by a Mountain for our land, then a foil Kargan Intimidator, Confounding Conundrum, Balaged Recovery with Balaged Sanctuary on the back, Shatterskull Minotaur, Base Camp, Blood Price, Ghastly Gloom Hunter, Farsight Adept, Tajuru Snarecaster, Kabira Outrider, Bubble Snare, Pyroclastic Hellion, Territorial Scythecat, and Glacial Grasp. So again, Glacial Grasp, Territorial Scythecat, Pyroclastic Hellion, Bubble Snare, Kabira Outrider, Tajuru Snarecaster, Farsight Adept, Ghastly Gloom Hunter, Blood Price, Base Camp, Shatterskull Minotaur, Balaged Recovery with Balaged Sanctuary on the back, Confounding Conundrum, which is an enchantment for 1 and a blue that says, when Confounding Conundrum enters the battlefield, draw a card. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player has another land enter the battlefield under their control this turn, they return a land they control to its owner's hand. So this is anti-landfall, or anti-lands matter. It's anti-ramp, really. If your opponent is dropping 2 lands on a turn, they have to bounce one of their lands back to their hand. So they aren't necessarily gaining any extra land turn over turn. They're just gaining their 1, but it's easy enough to play around this and make it work for your opponent as well. If they have to bounce a land if they want to play a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, then they're going to use that land. They're going to float that mana, play their next land, bounce their tapped land back to their hand, and keep going. So while I think this is good to somewhat slow them down and prevent them from, having 8 lands on turn 3, it's not going to stop them from having extra mana turn to turn. Right? They might have 6 mana on turn 4, but they're only going to have 4 lands still. So it can slow down, but it's not going to completely hinder, which probably is good for the game to not completely hinder, but it's not going to do what you expect it to do as soon as you read it, right? Like when you first see it, you're thinking, all right, great, I'm going to be able to lock down all those landfalls. They're not going to be getting all the counters or making me mill like 8 cards every turn from dropping all these lands. They will. They'll still get all the landfall triggers. They're just not going to keep the lands, which in a way is going to work out worse because then they're going to have more lands that they can drop next turn. So you don't actually want to use this to stop that. You want to use this to slow down just gradual ramp instead of landfall. So the more I talk about it, the less I actually want to use it anywhere. It's not going to do what I would want it to do. If you use this, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know where you actually are wanting to use this, because the more I think about it, the less I would want to use this. It seems to really just be benefiting my opponents, right? Giving them extra ETBs, even if it is delaying their ramp. It's easily played around. So if I'm missing something, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about how you're using this or how you've seen it used successfully. Next, we have a foil Kargan Intimidator. Our land was a mountain, and a Goblin Construct token to finish the pack. So that's all for today. Thank you for cracking along with me. Be sure to check back tomorrow as we crack open another pack.